Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 12 incredible watches for you guys and girls, just like every week. For those of you that are new here, every Saturday 9:30 a.m. we put new watches on the website. Typically I try to aim for around 10, if not a bit less, but with how many watches I've been buying and consigning recently, it's pretty much been 12 every single week, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. So thank you all very much for selling me your watch or consigning your watch with us. Now, as always, if you want to skip to a specific watch on the table, down in the description there is every single watch listed with a timestamp, so you can go directly to that watch. There's also a link to the website where it will take you to that watch and the listing, so you can see the extra photos, all the details and information, and the price if obviously it's still available. So be sure to go check them all out. Now, before we get on and dive into the watches on the table, let's start with what's on wrist. I'm wearing a watch that I've probably worn for many of these episodes, so I apologize if it seems a bit repetitious, but this is my beautiful 18 karat gold Movado automatic gentleman. It's 18 karat pin gold with a solid pin gold dial, bumper automatic movement, circa 1950s. It's a gorgeous watch, as I say, part of the personal collection and not for sale, and I hope to never have it for sale. But obviously, being a watch dealer, sometimes, you know, a big VAT bill comes in and you've got to sell a few things. But as I say, hopefully this one will be staying with me for the long run. So let's get on to what you're here to see, and that is the watches on the table that are for sale. And we're going to start with an absolutely incredible 1990 Ebel Beluga QP 18 karat gold perpetual calendar in 36mm. Incredibly rare reference. It's not the El Primero version, but it's a slightly different version with a more unusual case. I think it's very interesting, right? And the price point that you can get this at, under £8,000, I think is incredible when you consider the complication, 18 karat gold and a bell. So let's take a closer look at this one. So starting this week off with a incredibly special and gorgeous watch. This is an Ebel Beluga QP perpetual calendar in 18 karat yellow gold. As you can see, the dial is incredibly complicated with everything you could pretty much want on display for you, with a leap year indicator as well. Really, really special piece. Recessed crown, which creates this UFO style, which the Beluga is definitely famous for, and these very narrow lugs that flare out slightly on the strap. Now, Ebel do still make these straps. They have a few available, so you would have to contact them if you wanted them. It's paired on its original Ebel strap with its Ebel deployant, which you can fold up and down to get the best fit, and it slides underneath the strap basically that hides the tongue, so you have a seamless design. It's very nice. But if you don't want to go to Ebel and you want to get some custom sort of styles and everything like that, I would try Strap Tailor. He makes these kind of straps. They are custom made, so they do take a little while, but you get to choose everything: the style, the stitch, the color, so you get all those options. Now, the reference to this one is 8129960, and as we flip it over, you can see the sticker's still present. There is residue from the sticker that's been left. Now, personally, I like to take the stickers off, but I know some people like to leave them on. So we're leaving it on. Obviously, we can get it taken off for you if you wish and get all that residue taken off. It's nice and easily done, to be honest. With a little rag, you'll be able to take it all off. It's not a problem, but I just want to explain why that is, because I do get comments every now and again going, why is there that mark there or whatever it is? That's just the residue from this sticker, which is still present. So 18 karat yellow gold, as I say, and beating away inside is an automatic Ebel caliber 129, which is a heavily modified ETA 2892-2. Now, this watch is from circa 1990. It does come with an original box and swing tag, but no official paperwork, unfortunately. But that dial is spectacular. Ebel and the logo tucked away nicely at 6 o'clock. You know, at a glance, unless you know what this is, you'll probably have no idea it's an Ebel, which I absolutely love. It looks more like a unusual AP or something like that, but a really gorgeous piece. Now, in terms of setting, you have all the push markers in the case itself to set, and the position in the crown as well. Once you have a little play around with it, you'll get the hang of how to set it, and you'll be off to go. Obviously, moon phase down there at 6 o'clock as well. It's just a gorgeous design, really beautifully done, and the case proportion as well, 36mm. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now the case appears to me to be unpolished or near unpolished, maybe polished once in its life, if at all. We can have it polished for you on request, but to be honest, I would leave it as is personally. So what you're looking at dimension wise is 36 by 41 mil lug to lug, only 10 mil thick and 9 mil at the lugs there flaring out. A very interesting, unusual design. I think it looks really incredible. Definitely very different for this kind of perpetual calendar design to have something like this. So go check it out on the website today. From there, we're going to go over to an amazing Vertex. This is the Vertex MP45 Arctic manually wound monopusher chronograph. We've had a few of these over the years. I believe this is our first white model. They're brilliant. You really cannot go wrong, especially even at retail. I think they're great value. So when they become pre-owned like this and the prices that they are, it's incredible. So let's take a closer look at that. Now on to the awesome Vertex MP45, which stands for monopusher. As you can see, it only has one pusher and yet it has a chronograph. So how does that work? Well, you push down the pusher to start the chronograph, the same pusher to stop, and the same pusher to reset. So it puts all of the functionality into one pusher rather than two, for ease of use, I guess, especially as this design harps back to the 40s during the war, where military pilots would have been wearing these kind of watches, and I guess to have everything in one pusher rather than having to navigate two pushers whilst you're flying, that makes a lot of sense. Now this one is manually wound, so this is the MP45 Arctic M, and as we flip it over you can see an exhibition case back sticker still present inside a manually wound Salita caliber SW510MP. Now this one's from May 2023, does come with its box, paperwork and additional straps, so be sure to check those out. Currently paired on its leather strap with its sign buckle, which is very nicely done, and the overall condition of this one is fantastic, very lightly worn. To be honest, you could probably pass as near new for some people, but in the name of transparency, as always with Kibble watches, it is lightly worn. Not a huge amount more to say on this. You know, Don over at Vertex is doing incredible things. He's releasing some great watches, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. But for me, some of the best pieces will always be the military-inspired pieces like this one. You have the broad arrow proudly on the dial as well, which they have every right to use because they were one of the original Dirty Dozens and supplied to the British military, as well as other militaries, I believe, but a really cool brand and one well worth researching if you haven't already. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now they do offer an automatic version as well, but for me, I prefer the ever so slight thinness of the manually wound over the automatic, and it wears a lot more comfortably for me personally. So this is 42 mil by 49 mil lug to lug, 14.5 mil thick and 20 mil on the lug, so endless options. But as I say, it comes with 3 strap options from Vertex in the box as standard, which is fantastic. So go check this one out on the website today. Now on something you don't see often, and that is this gorgeous Lemania. This is a 1980s Lemania chronograph with the caliber 5100, and we've paired it with a Lemania stopwatch as well, so it will come with both. We'll take a closer look at both of those items. So let's take a closer look at this one. So Lemania time with this gorgeous chronograph that features the automatic Lemania caliber 5100 from the 80s. And you can see the design of this one is fantastic. Really nice original tritium dial, and you have, with the caliber 5100 central chronograph seconds, you have the additional chronograph hand, which is the minutes, so that will progress as the chronograph progresses with a nice aeroplane on the end. You have a 24-hour subdial at the top, which shows you where in AM or PM you are, and a 12-hour totalizer for the chronograph at 6 o'clock, running seconds at 9. That's how it works. So you can see that central chronograph minutes proceeding nicely as the chronograph runs round. It's a very well-used movement across the board for many different brands. You have a day date over there. It does come paired on an unbranded bracelet, which definitely suits the design. Obviously, I'll get that pushed in. That's when I was doing the photos. And as we open it, you can see a nice plain case back, stainless steel, where the movement is obviously housed and hidden. Really great design, really interesting screw down crown at 3 o'clock. It's definitely on the thicker side, but it really wears well, and it does come with an additional 2-piece fabric strap, which looks amazing on it. There's a wrist shot under the points of mentions on the website with the additional photos where you can see it on this. It really does look great. Now if we put this down and quickly show you the additional stopwatch it comes with, this is just thrown in as a nice extra. The stopwatch does work. You do have to know how to use it, and it does have a sticky push with the crown, so do keep that in mind. But basically, as you lift this lever, so it goes up or down, as you lift it up, it will start going. It is manually wound, so you do have to make sure it's wound up. That will get the chronograph going. If you want to stop it and time something, you just pull it down and it will stop it where it is. Now, if you want to reset it, you push this down, but you have to make sure you pull it back up because it is a little bit sticky. Now, as we start it again, you can also reset it on the fly using that, but again, pushing that back up to make sure it goes back into its engage mode. So you can leave it running until it runs out of energy, basically, or pull that lever down, reset it, lift the crown up, and then that is it, just stopped and ready to be used by lifting that back up. Hopefully that explains it. It's in really nice condition as well. Very cool. You can see the dial, Preston's timer division, Bolton, a nice interesting little thing to be thrown in with the Lemania chronograph. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And there we go, paired on my 7-inch wrist. It's definitely a really good look. I like it on the bracelet, but I'd probably be wearing it on that strap, to be honest, because I think that looks amazing. So right here, 40mm by 44mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick, and 20mm on the lug. So endless options if you're not a fan of the bracelet or the strap included. But go check it out on the website today. From there to an awesome Ming. This is the Ming 22.01 GMT Kyoto Titanium. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, so I do apologize. In 38mm with the highlights of green. A lovely watch. Let's take a closer look. Now on to Ming with this gorgeous and awesome Ming 22.01 GMT Kyoto. I'm totally butchering that pronunciation, so I do apologize. But when you look closely, you can see you've got this really beautiful grained grey center area with a very subtle green, almost black outer ring, which houses all of the numbers. Striking Ming hands, as you'd expect, with a green GMT that you can just about see over there. Really, really gorgeous. And the nice thing about the 2201 is the case. So typical Ming fashion, these really short flared lugs, which are very nice, but this case is titanium with polished tops, and the bezel is actually beveled inwards. It's very hard to capture and explain, but it creates a really, really great like wrist presence when it's on the wrist, because that bezel draws your eyes inwards towards the dial, which is absolutely spectacular, as you can see in classic Ming fashion with the layers of glass. It just looks incredible. Sign crown over at 3 o'clock, and as we flip it over, an exhibition case back, which Ming don't do too often, housing an automatic Sellita SW330-2. Now this one's from March 2023, it does come with its box and paperwork, paired on its original strap, which has a nifty feature. These straps are made by Jean Rousseau, they are fantastic. So when you pin up the strap, you go into the top one, through, and then you push it underneath like so, and again, like the Ebel we looked at earlier, it creates a seamless design where the tongue is actually tucked in underneath, so there's no sticking out piece. Which, for those of you with smaller wrists, that I have a few customers say they hate when the strap is overhanging so much over this side. This solves that problem because it's tucked away underneath. Very nicely done. That's been done by a few brands. It's not exclusive to Ming, but again, really nicely done. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, paired on my 7-inch wrist. It's a hell of a look. I really, really like this one. 38mm by 44mm lug to lug. So super short on that lug to lug, which means it will wear well on most size wrists. 10.5mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. They are curved ends with curved spring bars. I would recommend sticking to Ming or Jean Rousseau personally, but you can squeeze another strap on there. Just be warned, if it's a straight end and use straight spring bars, it will rub against the case and ruin the strap a bit quicker. But go check this one out on the website today. From there over to a MLab Uni-Racer Cruise Blue Dial 39mm. Absolutely love this watch. MLab has had a bit of hate recently with obviously some of the, well not obviously, but some of the models they've produced and how similar they are, or blatant copies of the past. I like this one because it's definitely borrowing from designs. There's no question about it, but the blue and the color scheme is quite different. So I like this one. Let's take a closer look. Next up, a very attractive MLab Uni-Racer Cruise Blue Dial, as you can see, with those polished steel hands, which in some lights become absolute like black contrast against the dial, and then in other lights you really see the glossy shine on them. Very interestingly done. Big bold sub dials for the chronograph, which starts and stop via the top one, as you'd expect, and resets via the bottom one. Very nicely done. Very simple but beautiful design all around. So this is the UR-001-CRU, and inside, behind this closed simple Caseback is a manually wound Sellita SW510M Elaborate. The Elaborate means it's a higher grade and higher finished and higher regulated version of the same Sellita movement. Either way, you can't go wrong with either, but it's nice that they've gone that extra step to provide the next step up of the same movement. Very nice case profile with brushed and polished sides, signed crown at 3 o'clock, and as I say, simple caseback just with the number right there. Nice simple strap which really suits the design, and a very nice buckle. You know, I like a good solid buckle. This is a very, very nice one. So not a huge amount more to say on this one. You know, if you like the design, you like the style, they are fantastic, and they offer that vintage aesthetic, slightly bigger case, and modern reliability. So let's show this one. Oh, by the way, it's May 2022 with its box and paperwork. So let's show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go, on my 7-inch wrist, definitely a good looking watch and really nicely proportioned. At 39mm, as I said, by 46mm lug to lug, only 9mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. So endless options for swapping this one out. A nice blue strap would also look good, but this contrast works nicely. So go check it out on the website today. From there, let's go over to a Farah Ponting GMT automatic 2nd generation. So they've done a few generations. This is the 2nd. It also comes with a bracelet, and it has the full bronze crown, which they no longer do as well. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to the Farah Ponting GMT with these beautiful, crazy bright colours. It's something Farah are definitely known for, this sort of contrast of colours. Really done very, very well. This has a nice inner ring, which is blue and orange. Orange GMT hand, yellow tip to the second hand. Sort of baby blue hour and minute hand as well. Just nicely done overall, and a date over 3 o'clock. So as I say, this is the Ponting GMT from June 2021, 2nd generation, with its box and paperwork, and also the Farah bracelet. So you get both options of the Farah bracelet and this nice blue strap. As we flip it over, exhibition case back with a custom rotor right there, and that is an automatic Sellita SW330-1. Now this is an older 2nd generation which features the full bronze crown. Now they do a steel crown with a bronze inlay, and something to keep in mind with the bronze crowns is obviously it's bronze, so you are touching bronze when you're winding and setting, but also they feel a little bit stiffer to use than the stainless steel ones. So when you pull it out, it does feel a little bit stiffer than a typical watch you'd expect, and especially with winding as well, but that is to be expected with the use of bronze, and I think it's also part of the reason why they've switched to stainless steel with bronze inlay. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's part of the reason. So let's show this one on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go, on my 7-inch wrist. It really works. Those popper colours definitely add a smile to the face of the wearer, that's for sure. And if you're after a funky GMT, which is actually priced really well with a bracelet and a strap, I don't know if you can go wrong with this one. So 39.5mm by 45mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick and 20mm on the lug. So again, endless options. If you're not a fan of the pairing, a nice brown strap would also look good. Maybe tone it down a little bit, but definitely gives that summer vibe right there. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to probably one of my favourites on the table, surprisingly. It's this Mido. This is the Ocean Star GMT limited edition for Dinky. It comes with the brown leather strap, the bracelet, and also a NATO strap, all Mido signed. And it's limited, I believe, yeah, to 999 pieces. Really great watch, great value for your money. And I love the design. So let's take a closer look at that. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a fan of vintage Mido especially, and these recreations, they've been fantastic, and this is definitely a really, really good one. So this is the Mido Ocean Star GMT limited edition to 999 pieces for Hodinkee. I won't bore you with the reference because it's incredibly long, but you can see the design right there. Nicely done with the Heritage Mido logo. I'm a huge fan of that. Very subtle red GMT hand with the GMT font also in red, which I think works nicely. Nice rotating bezel which goes both ways. Nice white ring, date over at 3 o'clock. Screw down Mido sign crown, again with the vintage Mido typeface, which is a favourite for me. As we flip it over, nicely signed case back right there. Inside is the automatic caliber 80 C07.661. Nice GMT movement used by the Swatch Group, and this one's from December 2022 with its big Mido box. Comes on its original Mido brown strap with a nice Mido buckle. It comes with a Mido NATO and a Mido bracelet, so you get all of that in the price, which I think is fantastic, and I wish more brands would give more bracelet options in general. Not a huge amount more to say on this one, so let's show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And there we go, on my 7-inch wrist. I am a big fan of these heritage inspired watches that are super affordable and look really, really good, because you get that vintage styling but modern reliability. And with this one also modern sizing at 40.5mm by 50mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick and 21mm on the lug. So a little awkward on the lug length, but as I say, it comes with 3 straps. So between the 3, I'm sure you'll find one you like and enjoy. But go check it out on the website today. From there over to another classic, this time the Baltic. This is the MR01 Blue Roulette, limited to 300 pieces for a collected man. Arguably one of the best design MR01s in my opinion, and I love the dial. Obviously limited to 300 as I said, so there's not many of these, but let's take a closer look at this. Now on to the Baltic MR01 Blue Roulette, limited edition for a collected man of just 300 pieces. This is a really, really gorgeous design based on a vintage Patek Calatrava. As you can see by the dial, I would say it's one of the nicest of the MR01s that Baltic have done, and you have this grained bezel, which I think really works with the design rather than the polished. And again, both are fantastic, but I'm a big fan of this one. Comes paired on its original taupe strap with a Baltic signed buckle, and as we flip it over, you still got the sticker on the case back of this one, and you can see a micro rotor movement at this price point, which is incredible, and that's what made the MR01 so successful for Baltic. So that is a Chinese made Hangzhou ELA05MN micro rotor movement right there. Really nicely done. It's actually really nicely decorated as well. I've had a lot of people who know nothing about watches, and I've shown them these, and they thought this would be like, you know, 10, 15, 20 grand or something like that, because it really does look very, very good. And that's kind of what made this watch so popular. This one's from September 2022. It does come with its box and paperwork, as you'd expect as well. And again, priced, I think they're priced fairly. You know, obviously they came out the gate at £500. They sold within seconds, and they've been trading over that ever since. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Another reason why I absolutely love this watch and this model is the proportions at 36mm by 43.5mm lug to lug, only 10mm thick and 20mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes as well. Really, really great watch, well worth picking up. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to Nodus, which we have 2 on the table. This is the Unity Topaz Blue 36 automatic. I think this is really, really great dial, really great design. I love the blue bezel as well. It's not movable, it has nothing on it. It's just like a blue, it looks like lacquer. Really, really nice. Let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to Nodus, and I've had a few of these over the years. I think they are fantastic in terms of design and build quality, especially for the money. And it's micro brands like this that I think are doing something a little bit different that really deserve the attention. This is the Nodus Unity Topaz Blue with this gorgeous textured dial, as you can see, and this vibrant blue, matching topaz blue bezel, which really contrasts nicely. I think this is a very good looking watch. Love the indices on this, the shape of them and the hands as well. Date over at 6 o'clock. Hidden nicely, and also matching date wheel. It's the little attention to details that I think Nodus have really gone to town with on this piece. Screw down sign crown right there at 3 o'clock. That actually lines up nicely. That's just a coincidence. I don't think they're supposed to do that. And it does compare on its original Nodus bracelet, which has 1,000,001 spare links by the looks of it. And it also has a adjustment, so you can see a little Nodus button right there. When you push it, you can slide in or out the extension to make on-the-fly adjustment, which is very good. Nicely signed case back right there, as you can see. And inside this watch is an automatic Miyota caliber 9015, so a nice reliable Miyota caliber. And this is from May 2023 with its box and paperwork. Now let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions, because that's where this watch really shines in my. And there we go, paired on my 7-inch wrist. This is a very, very good looking piece at 36mm. They've done a really good job of this. 36mm by 42mm lug to lug, 11.5mm thick and 20mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes as well. So really, really great option. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to the Nodus Retrospect 3 Flare Orange Automatic, a beast of a watch, a big dive watch. It wears big, but it wears comfortably. So let's take a closer look. Now for another Nodus, this time the Retrospect 3 in Flare Orange, a very, very nice contrast with the matte black bezel and this very sort of vibrant orange dial, which works beautifully. And again, just like the other Nodus we looked at, matching date wheel. I like that. It makes the whole design work, and you don't even really notice the date is there, especially with the white ring also around it to make it sort of coincide with the dial, which has those gorgeous dagger indices, very striking hands as well. It's just overall a very well designed watch. And when you see the price, I think a lot of you are going to be very, very surprised, because the value on these is incredible, even at retail. So when they become secondhand like this one, it gets even better. Now this one comes paired on its original bracelet. As you can see, 3 adjustment holes there to make to make adjustment nice and easy. Quick release on the bracelet as well, which again, nice touch. Simple signed case back, and inside is a automatic Seiko caliber NH35. Now this one's from June 2023. It does come with its box and paperwork, and also an additional Nodus strap as well, which is very nice. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. It's a good looking piece, definitely not small, but it wears really well and is actually surprisingly comfortable. So what you're looking at right here is 42mm by 48mm lug to lug, 13mm on the thickness, and 22mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes. As I say, you've got the original bracelet and an additional Nodus strap, so plenty of options there that look great on the watch. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to a Seiko Prospex Alpinist Mountain Glacier. This is the really nice icy blue dial, very attractive watch, and I think it will definitely fit in someone's collection very nicely. So let's take a closer look at that one. Now for the awesome Seiko Prospex Alpinist Mountain Glacier, which features this glacier blue dial, ice blue almost, which is very, very subtle. In some lights it's almost a grey or a black. In other lights it's very vibrant, the kind of blue it is. It's just nicely done. Cathedral hands as you'd expect on the Alpinist, and you have the crown over at 3 o'clock, which is screw down, data 3 o'clock with the Cyclops on the crystal, and then you have an inner rotating bezel right here. This isn't screw down, so you may knock it from time to time, but it lines up as well perfectly, because you get to choose where you want it to go, right? So you can choose it as perfectly as you want, for those of people who ask about the alignment of Seiko. This is the reference SPB197J1, and it comes on its original bracelet. The watch is worn, there are scratches, but it's not overly worn, it's nicely worn and honest. Exhibition caseback showcasing the automatic Seiko caliber 6R35, and this one's from April 2023 with its box and paperwork. Let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, a good looking piece, that's for sure. Really, really nice dial on that one. And I like the applied Seiko logo, especially when it catches the light. So 39mm by 46mm lug to lug, 12.5mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. So endless options for this one, but I do like it on the bracelet. So go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, a watch under £100, which every now and again I'm trying to throw 1 or 2 of these into the drops. I think it's just interesting to be able to pick those up from us as well. I know quite a few of you guys and girls like that aspect. So this is the Timex Expedition North Sierra Solo. 40mm eco-friendly watch with an eco-friendly strap, eco-friendly box. It seems to be the process at the moment, and solar powered as well. So let's take a closer look at that. And last but not least, this awesome Timex Expedition solar powered eco-friendly watch, which has a translucent dial where you can actually see underneath. Basically like a big solar panel that takes in the sun energy and charges the watch and keeps it going. You've got really nice bold numerals, which have got this like faux patina to them, nice simple hands as well. To be honest, it's a really good looking watch, and you've got this bead blasted case as well, which looks fantastic. And it comes paired on this eco-friendly Timex strap with a Timex buckle right there, which is quick release. As you can see, Expedition North stated on the case back. I won't bore you with the reference. This one, as always with Timex, it's a long reference. It's even got a screw down signed crown as well. Again, all of this under £100, you can't go wrong. Circa 2023 with his box and swing tag. I'm not going to say a huge amount more, because at the end of the day, you're getting a field watch, solar powered, from a great brand like Timex at this kind of price with a screw down crown. It's a no-brainer really. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And this is where it just gets even better. Look at it on wrist, 40mm by 47mm lug to lug, only 10mm thick and 20mm lug. So if you're not a fan of this eco-friendly strap, you could swap it out. I do think this would look good on a NATO strap and become a great sort of holiday watch or gardening watch or beta watch, if you want to have such a term. But yeah, go check it out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. This week's drop, 12 incredible pieces, really ranging in variety, price, style, everything you could possibly imagine. It's what I hope to achieve every single week, and it's thanks to you guys and girls I'm able to do that. So head on over to the website, kibblewatches.co.uk, check them out, see what's your favourite, and don't forget to leave a comment. And over on Instagram, follow us over there too. We'll see you all again next week.